So, Elden Ring Nightreign, the latest addition to Souls, and I've totally finished Shadow of the Erdtree, totally finished that video before starting this video. Other than consuming my life since launch, Nightreign is a video game where you play as an all-star cast from Souls archetypes from across history as you descend the deepest depths, climb the tallest mountains, and plunder eternal cities, all the while racing to gain as much power as possible, with your singular goal of killing the Night Lords and saving the world. Just be thankful you're not up against Conrad Kurz. Survive 3 nights of Limveld, loot, level up, and win. Sounds easy, right? Wrong. These Night Lords are built from the ground up to test your team of certified chucklefucks to the limit. At the one thing Souls players have never been tested in before: teamwork. The single player's #1 weakness. That's almost as bad as if FromSoft dropped another poison swamp in the game again. No, wait, they did that too. Little wonder why people are crying online that the game is too hard when they invested 0 points IRL into social interactions, cosplaying as a level 1 wretch as they dwell in their mother's basements, whining over even the prospect of working with others in a team. But unlike your favorite baby streamer and Souls vet, raging and malding that the game has changed, let us partake in the spirit of true, jolly cooperation, and let me run you through the complete genius that is Elden Ring Nightreign. The gameplay of Elden Ring meets teamwork and cooperation. The only difference is that when you die, you don't. You go into a near death state where you have a small window of time to be revived by your teammates, who will get to vent their frustrations at you by beating your ass senseless. Longtime Souls vets with that dial-up brain cell hated this game on launch, by the way. Oh wow, it's almost like everyone complained that you couldn't play Elden Ring as a co-op experience, and then everyone complained when they finally got it. You are condemned. Here's why that's a good thing. Nightfarers assemble at the Round Table Hold to save the lands between. But who are these characters, and who is the John Souls?
Wilder!
Vanilla ice cream with sprinkles. Can do this, can do this, and can do this.
Guardian!
Literal bird Jesus. Blocks for an eternity. Can do this, and can save a goddamn run with revives. Sometimes.
Iron Eye!
It's what happens when you gave a bow build legit scaling parameters, with a unique trickshot bow moveset, and can do this, and can do this.
Duchess!
Is Lady Maria we have at home, with 2 Bloodborne dashes, enhanced damage with the timepiece, and invisible stabbing for rezzing in a pinch and for getting the drop on people.
Raider!
Is the great weapon build when you want to power stance God. You can do this, tank God, and hit back even harder, and can do this.
Revenant!
Can do this, and also this.
Recluse!
The best mage playstyle FromSoft has ever created, has spells for days, massive counter appeal, and on-the-fly spell combos that are so sick, they'll burn your retinas.
Executioner!
Aura farming, literally parrying God. Samurai Weeb shenanigans. Maroon 5 V Track 2. But who is the John Born Souls of the roster? Trick question, they all are. Every archetype is a classic Souls build, with unique abilities to make them extra special. Literally built different chads that cater to your specific needs, with all their strengths and weaknesses. Every run in Miyazaki's Battle Royale is different. Changing landscapes, alternating bosses, locations, landmarks, weapons, and players, all accentuating and hindering your run in unique ways, forcing you to make build decisions and choices on the fly, constantly pushing you forward like a methamphetamine addict, chasing the next stack of goodies from boss loot pinatas, constantly outrunning the ring. But everybody gangsta until Bale-bearing Hunter shows up. His aura farming legit causes everyone's balls to evaporate on sight, I swear. Everyone just forgets they have thumbs. You progress every fortnight until the Elden Ring forces you into do or die sink or swim boss encounter, where if you're fit is mid. You and your team are dead, because it's drip or drown over in Limveld. And boy, you better be swimming strong. The only constant is the Night Lord that you choose to fight. The antithesis to the Nightfarers, these certified badasses are built from the ground up to have MMO raid-wide mechanics to test the team to its limits. Weak links are immediately made known, pounded into the dirt, and ground into dust. And then the boss looks at the next player like they're free eats. You might be dripped out, but these lords are packing the J's with the full hype beast setup. With that plain $200 t-shirt that was made in China for 20 cents. They're certified fresh. You gotta decide if you wanna step up your game with the right bars right back at them, or if you're gonna get laughed out of the arena. And there's 7 of these big boys as well. with enhanced versions of each fight on rotation with new phases, new movesets, and mechanics for those non-baby gamers who demanded that Miyazaki finally bring out the writing crop. But what's going on in this game? What the heck is going on? Vati hasn't brought out a lore video for the game yet, and I'm so confused. My small baby brain can't comprehend these eldritch revelations. Sony is still hoarding all the insight for themselves. But I got you, fam. Here's the lore of this game. See, the will of the Golden Order has terrible reception to the planet we're living on. We're talking red bars at best. The Wi-Fi router is at the bottom of the pit of shadows, and the fingies have a 1996 dial-up connection from freaking TalkTalk, okay? So that shit ain't happening. They're Gary's mod ragdolling profusely. So while the firmware isn't getting updates, and after witnessing Marika literally go fuck herself and bring 4 demigod self-cessed children into being, the Erdtree, understandably, wants to kill itself in Minecraft. So in Revolt, it literally created the Night Lords in order to achieve its goal. But we kinda like living here. But at the same time, it wants everything to continue as life persists, paradoxically. So Nightfarers, guided by grace, assemble at the Round Table Hold, unable to pass on from the sins of their past weighing them down, most likely from what they texted girls at age 14. They are condemned to the Round Table Hold until the Night Lords are unalived and are forgiven for their past transgressions. But everyone here has their own goals they want to achieve. And as always with Miyazaki and J.R.R. Martin's writings, it's full of eldritch nonsense and small text item descriptions. Don't blame me for it, I'm just telling you how it is. This game is all I've been playing since launch. Your boy has been eating, streaming, and sleeping this game since. I found the gameplay loop very satisfying, and the fact that every run is different in its own way keeps me coming back. In a world where there's not enough time in the day to get everything done you want to get done, the idea of a 40-minute Elden Ring adventure that you can share with your friends has immense appeal. And with a game as large as Elden Ring, starting a new playthrough can be a very daunting prospect when you already know the sheer size of the game. And that was before Shadow of the Erdtree came out. The amount of hours you have to invest is astronomical. And if you're not following a guide or anything like that, finding that one specific weapon for your build to function can be a little frustrating. Nightreign completely eliminates that whole headache with randomized loot, locations, encounters, and rewards. And with 8 characters to play so far, your build alternates depending on who you're playing as, which encourages variety, something which the usual sword and board double colossal weapon junkies will never do. Speaking of, you know the players on launch that said, it's too different, or that they can't handle the fast-paced gameplay or the snap decision making, and why does everything have to be so different? Boy, let me break down the sheer amount of baby behavior for you. From its inception, FromSoft have made games that have challenged people. And it's funny that every single time they do something different, the same arguments happen. The game's too hard and punishing. The game's too hard and fast-paced. This game is too hard and different from Souls games. This isn't even Souls. We can reject the last one, honestly. Every time FromSoft has added to the Souls genre, they've added a new twist to it and changed something, constantly improving and evolving their product. Dark Souls was successful for a return to difficulty in games, after years of baby handhelding from top developers in the later years of the 2000s. Yes, Demon's Souls was the first steps, but Dark Souls was about refining the baseline for their future hits to come. And while Dark Souls 2 was the messy middle child with lots of experimentation, Bloodborne, oh my god. One of my favorite games and literally one of the best RPGs of all time. That's not my opinion, that is objective fact. Fight me. With sick visceral combat and speed and flair and panache, trending on Twitter every other week at the merest hint of its mention by the insight hoarders over at Sony Interactive. A hunter must hunt, and for those of us who still dream, we're desperate to get back into it. The sweet blood. Oh, it sings to me. It's enough to make a man sick. Apologies for that. That was not scripted, but it's required when it comes to discussing Bloodborne. With all the lessons they learned from Bloodborne and Dark Souls 2, they added those lessons to Dark Souls 3. The complete refinement of those ideas and mechanics being my favorite game in that trilogy. Sekiro, on the other hand, was something completely new and fresh, with this most interesting addition being vertical exploration, something FromSoft had never done before. Exceptionally basic, but simple, with a hard focus on turning almost every boss into its own spectacle, the mesmerizing wushu sword gameplay combined with the rich story and world, and a stronger focus on cinematic storytelling. All of these lessons culminating in the absolute GOAT, the most universally acclaimed RPG of all time, Elden Ring. Every single lesson learned from a decade and a half of games, from now a pioneer in the games industry, culminating in this game. And you know Elden Ring, you're watching the video, you're not subbed to the channel, but you're watching the video, I know you are, you're doing it right now, it's Elden Ring. I don't need to say anything more, which leads to the next evolution of FromSoft's game design, Elden Ring Nightreign. FromSoft heard people wanted to play Elden Ring as a team. They saw people were creating mods to literally do that, and instead of revoking the community feedback, they thought, well, why not? Why can't you play Elden Ring with a friend or two? I can imagine exactly how this game came to be. Someone on the team probably created a basic test build internally, and once it built up enough steam and it worked, they pitched it. Perhaps the investors were seriously clamoring for more Elden Ring, after seeing the sheer amount of cold hard cash that Elden Ring has made. They're absolutely on board with slapping the name on it and making another boatload of cold hard cash. So with a smaller team and much lower resources than a mainline title, they put together Nightreign, not even as a full-price game, to give the fans the experience they wanted but couldn't have in the base Elden Ring game. A full co-op adventure you could experience from start to finish with your friends. But while Baby Boy streamer or Mr. Entitled YouTuber sees this as a cash grab or FromSoft's first L, spoilers, it's not. That's the exact same thing you said about Sekiro on release, and you've got egg on your face now. Sit down. Shush. Be quiet. Daddy's talking. I don't see it as just a great game, because I already see the framework of the new things they're adding to future titles because of the innovations they've made in Nightreign itself. For gameplay, they finally got the concept of the Pursuer implemented into their game, with Morgoth spawning in and literally chasing you through the entire map, forcing you to engage with him as a team to take him down. Something they've been trying to do for over a decade, since Dark Souls 2. They created a brand new networking infrastructure where you can do seamless co-op with friends in Elden Ring. Far better than what they've done in the past games. They took a look at the Radahn Festival and decided that every Night Lord should feel like that when you're fighting him as a group. Everyone working together for that massive rewarding W at the end. And they should also just add the Radahn fight to the game. Why is the Radahn fight not in the game right now? They brought back heritage boss fights like Gaping Dragon, Centipede Demon, and Nameless King, and more, in a fantastic way of adding more variety than just Elden Ring bosses into the game. Literally turning Nightreign into a greatest hits boss rush game, without you having to boot up 5 different titles to fight these bosses in succession. The Nightfarers all have their unique special abilities that accentuate their own unique skill set and play style, further adding to the gameplay of Souls with brand new unique flares and style, based on prior implementations in past titles. Wilder, for example, has Sekiro's Hoodshot for mobility, and the Pile Driver from Armored Core 6. Revenant encourages summons as part of her kit, and not as a solo player clutch, they're worked into her skill set. While that being far more bare bones, I can see a lot of promise with that idea going forward. Executioner brings Sekiro's parries to Souls itself. Raider lets you spawn actual terrain mid-combat for a tactical advantage. Every single character has a preferred enhanced moveset with their preferred weapon for those who want to specify their builds even further. Need I say more? Do you understand the genius yet? All these lessons and experiments only further FromSoft's internal development by allowing them to try out new things in a game slightly separated from their mainline titles to see what works and what doesn't. Nightreign, essentially, is a massive open world sandbox that they can safely experiment with ideas and changes in at any time, with live community feedback, creating new ways to play that can refine and implement into future titles. The sheer potential of this alone is staggering. The greatest tragedy for this game would be for it to have minimal support in the following couple years and no support after that. This game needs more. This game needs more all-star bosses from across Souls history. It has some right now, but not nearly enough. It needs more Nightfarers and unique playstyles, even if it needs to take notes from the community for those playstyles. It needs more late game progression and challenges other than just remix bosses. Everdarks are cool, but we need more progression other than skins and RNG relic grinds. Some genuine late game progression. We need more quests to complete as a team, events, and more. With that all being said though, the base product for Nightreign is exceptional. All jokes and funnies aside, I'll absolutely continue to support this game. I'll be streaming every single update it has over on the Purple website, largely because I don't have the ability to multi-stream currently. It's a financial and logistical thing, don't worry about it. But other than that, make sure to subscribe for more content. I got more bangers, reviews, and some stories to tell if that interests you. And it does, because you've already clicked that bell. And one last thing before you go, I opened a Patreon because I want to make banger videos. You guys want to see banger videos. If you want to support my stuff and see me do this full time, you know where to show some support. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.